You little shits are now on recording.
What's being recorded? I
Just
have
our
an attention to
conversations.
heart of snuggle slice, so I'm comfy.
But yeah, no, it's. I actually. I started this recording because I actually wanted to discuss my ideas with you, Ulua. Since Lillian is more likely to just flop out and not actually give a response anytime soon.
I just
I
want snuggles.
You can
As
have
long
your
as I'm getting,
snuggle.
as long as I'm also getting snuggles, I am here to listen and talk as well.
Awesome. Mwah, mwah.
Oh,
Cuties. So, one of the ideas I'm wanting to focus on is creating a video that explains how apathy and alcohol have similar parallels. Now, I've been getting stuck on the title and the substance along with the final polishing, but the final polishing I'm not focusing on yet. It's the title and the substance that I really want to focus on first. Because if I can get the core idea out, no matter how crudely, then I will have time to polish it later. And if it doesn't
yeah.
get polished later, then someone else will see my video, might be inspire them to make a better version, and there we go. Kick off the
Hmm.
cycle.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, my ass is not sure what the fuck to title it, because I'm wanting to post it to my main channel, and the ideas I have are quick guide, mental parallels, but I don't feel like if I do quick guide, I then have to specify reality, and that doesn't help with navigating the YouTube channel. So that's an attached problem that influences the process when it comes to thinking up a title. At the same time, I want the title to be consistent so that way you can tell when a video is in a series set and when it's just its own thing, or so yeah, so you can tell the difference between different series and sets of videos, so as to help
Hmm.
make navigating and categorizing information easier for the user and or viewer.
Hmm.
So what I so I'm also trying to think up a fucking intro because it's like, hey, I could start like this or like this or like this, and it's like I need to explore all of these, but at the same time, I can only choose one in the end.
Yes.
And I feel like I kind of needed to talk this out to someone because bouncing ideas off a wall is great, but at some point you get tired of seeing how you bounce an idea off a wall, and you want to see someone else throw the fucking ball, see if it skyrockets to an absurd angle. Fucking punt that bitch into a specific corner of the geometry and watch it get launched up from fucking flipping.
Fair enough. Let's see.
uh,
So, what's it about? What's the content about it again?
well, mainly I'm wanting to create mental parallels between concepts that operate within our head and real life physical objects that people can interact with. So that way it can create a more intuitive understanding. But I want these parallels to be, on the most part, highly accurate. So for apathy, I have alcohol, but for Cybile, I have no idea what the fuck to put there, because technically you reach Cybile by going through apathy, and you're numb by that point, so you don't feel the effects of the Cybile. But it's like, okay, what substance combination would that equate to? So yeah, no, that's another
Hmm.
tangent.
Hmm.
So you can see why I want to go with mental parallels or quick guide. I'd
I don't like
it's
quick guide that much, if I'm gonna be honest.
fair enough, feels too casual.
Yeah, also then you restrict yourself in terms of actually making it a quick guide.
You know what? Fair counterpoint.
So, like, yeah, not only does it seem a bit too casual regarding the seriousness of the topic, but it also is like, all right, quick guide. How long is the video? 30 minutes? That's not a quick guide.
Depends on the content and
And
focus.
whilst that would work maybe for like a one-off, you're saying you want to make it a series. Well,
Yeah,
some series will live on to forever.
because I'm wanting to help create parallels and navigational tools for from my own journeys through my brain that can help other people navigate even if their structure isn't the same. Because in that regard, that would then be leaving behind things that people could pick up and use when they're lost down in the mental abyss and trying to find their way. And
So waystones.
not waystones, because those would be permanent fixtures, not tools you would carry with you. Permanent fixtures and waystones are something for the person who is wandering their own headspace to figure out for themselves. It's the reason why I have Flickr as a waystone and or a core to my self-identity and ideals. Because the reality is, I'm more so a combination of a null, era, and trace that it tries to focus ourselves into Flickr as a waystone in order to present as who we want to be as opposed to the reality of who we are. However, the reality of who we are is still just as critically important, and so you can't ignore either half.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm already throwing way too much information at you, aren't I?
It's a lot, but I'm getting the general basis. What about caches? I'm throwing out ideas that can then be turned
You're talking
into.
about caches as in geocaches?
Sort of, that's what my brain went to.
For as much as that's nice, that caches and geocaches usually come with are usually better aligned to those who already like hiking and exploring. Meanwhile, I want these to be tools that are found not while you're going out on your next grand adventure, but more so while you're resting around trying to figure out where the fuck am I.
Well, caches are sometimes just placed along well-worn trails. They
Yeah,
aren't
but
just things that you have to search ends of Earth for.
I mean, that's fair, but I feel like that would be more goal-oriented territory, like personal growth goals, as opposed to a tool. A tool is something you can carry with you, and it's not statically attached to a specific location. It reacts to its environment.
Well, once again, though, caches do sometimes contain tools depending on where they are. They can
Okay,
contain a
so
tool
that
to help
could
you along
be
further.
a summarization of the individual videos once I've got them
Yeah.
done. So that's cataloged for later, but for now, Caches is off the table as a title idea.
All right. Hmm. Hmm.
Mental guide, mental nav.
You're also asking someone who's not the most creative person.
Well, yeah, but that's honestly fine because I'm not asking for hyper creativity here. What we're doing, I've already got the creative half on my end.
Yeah.
What we need is the grounding half to reality that makes it understandable and easy for a person to identify what they're looking at, intuit the information if they've already got intuition to some degree. If they don't have intuition, then it's not my problem.
Everything I'm thinking of is not gonna work.
Well, list off the ideas. Let's see if it sparks up something.
Well, I'm thinking of like areas where you would pick up something for use later, and I keep thinking of checkpoints.
You're thinking in video game logic terms in order of
Well,
progression.
not necessarily. I'm thinking just anything that comes to my mind. So like caches I came up with, rest stops was another one. But these are just like stopping points, which isn't exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's why
Honestly,
I
though,
said
I do
these
think
would
that
work
is
in.
those are good ideas by all means. That would be dynamically useful for things like level design or gameplay progression if we were to
Yeah.
turn this into game style, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. That's why I was filtering them in.
So, mental nav, mental guide, guide tools. You know, when it comes to the whole... Okay, so mental tools can be divided into two types. Ones that are active use and respond to the environment, and ones that are passive use, and you have to... And they always exist, and they just give out the same information each time. There's the archived guide to how to use a tool, and then there's the tool itself. Both are tools in and of their own right, but they're not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of how, like, you wouldn't know how to use a compass if you didn't if you didn't first understand the concepts of it.
Yes, I understand. That's why I said
Hmm.
unless you were just trying to finish your thought, in which case I bite my tongue.
You're fine. Anyways. That's the thing. Sometimes this stuff needs to sit in silence, too, in order to bounce around and get to the exit point that we're looking for. Mm. Mm. If you're not thinking up any thoughts, or you're not getting anything you think is worth sharing, that's fine. Blah, 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 blah. Honestly, though, I'd prefer you put the what's worth and not worth sharing filter off to the side. We can definitely take ideas and categorize them in different areas or to be used later.
I just keep coming up with this compass of some sort.
Yeah, no, that part I've got. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why I kind of figured you got that, so.
Yeah, it's the reason why I have apathy. Because the etheliometer is something that is a reference point I'm wanting to use as well, but that's still a long distance goal because we need to. Because it would be like a 3-layered etheliometer with one section telling you, okay, are you in a center point that flips around that tells you if you're closer to clear space or murky space? A inner ring that's second from being the outer, that's one in from being the outer ring between the bright territory, dark territory, gray territory, and colorful territory. And then you would have the etheliometer like symbols on the outside edge, which could be related to certain concepts specifically, apathy and alcohol. And Cybile and otherwise. Oh. Apathy and alcohol, pride and trophies.
Ow.
Already, this is more progress than I would have gotten on my own, so thank you. Snuggle, snuggle. Do you even know what the etheliometer is?
Nope.
It's from a book series called His Dark Materials, but most people would probably know it as the Golden Compass. And that's the first book in the series, and that was the only book made into a movie, which it was then made into a game, and I had the game, and I played it, and it was fucking awesome. It certainly wasn't the cleanest or most polished thing, but it was good enough. It brought the ideas to life.
My phone's very warm.
That's fair.
So I'm tired still.
Well, I mean, I just
God.
threw, like, what, 20 concepts at you? That's me exaggerating a little bit. And so your brain is going to feel tired, like, just mentally
No.
digesting those concepts from my understanding and perspective of things. But what's it like on your end?
I've been tired since I've been here.
Oh, okay. Pats your head
God
and ruffles your hair.
damn
Blah, 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 blah,
it.
blah, 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 blah.
Um,
What's going on, Lillian?
The site I've been reading all these novels on
Mm-hmm.
just announced that they're shutting down because of a cease and desist.
Oh.
Fuck nuggets.
you, you
I don't know where to go from here now because this is the only site I knew that I could read these on.
Well, can you... Now, this is fucking silly of me, but you can either do one of two things. Manually archive the web pages to your computer so that the ones you haven't read yet, so that way you could just go through and read them on your own time. Or you create an account at the Internet Archive and use that as a way to save the pages one at a time before they shut down. Of course, that would actually require burning up focus, so that's not always an option for you,
No,
because
they
you're...
literally closed the site right now. It's gone.
Fuck!
The site's gone.
Fuck!
you could
It
Fuck!
was
check
down
Wayback
for
Fuck!
maintenance. It was down for maintenance. And I joined the Discord server to see when we get back up, and I just saw a message saying, "We're shutting down the site permanently. We're not coming back."
What
Ugh,
are the
fair
books?
enough.
And do the books have solid versions?
They were light novels. English translated light novels that I liked.
I see. Okay. I was gonna say I could check the bookmans around here for the chance that they might show up, but if they're that case, then they probably won't have them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a specific translator as well.
Yeah. You could try Wayback Machine, see if an archive is made at some point.
Yeah, it is an
Possibly,
option,
but at
but
the same
that's...
time, it's gonna be really hard because
You need archives of that specific page and the
yeah.
text on it, instead of just an archive of the front page. Otherwise,
Well,
you're not going to be
I
able
think
to navigate it.
Wayback Machine is how I watched some Ruby episodes when they got taken off of everywhere.
Yeah, but Ruby is like fairly known in the popular sphere. Meanwhile, what Lillian's referring to may have its own niche and subgenre culture, but that doesn't necessarily mean that someone's
What?
actually archived it. The size of a community will affect the odds of someone archiving information related to
It's
it.
still worth a shot nonetheless, though.
Mhm.
I mean, I could try, but fuck nugget.
I think Wayback Machine archives the entire site and all the data on it. I
I
think.
can try.
It gets finicky with some things, like the old Mythbusters sites are a bit finicky. They don't fully work, but that's because
Mm.
there's videos and stuff, and that's just what doesn't work. Look, what I was saying was, you started throwing this stuff at me with me having like 60% of my brain functional. So,
Yeah, no, I'm known for doing that. My mom dealt with it all the time.
I mean, it's fine.
But it's not exactly reasonable.
It's not the no. It's. I wouldn't say that. I was gonna say it's not the most efficient way of getting ideas out of me, though. Like, yeah, you can do it, but it's not gonna be efficient.
Mm-hmm. Who
Let's
said I
see
need
how
to be
much of this
efficient?
is archived.
Ah, go.
Snuggle, snuggle. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, this is the speed I usually have suppressed mentally.
Okay. That's not bad. I can kind of keep up with it with limited brain power. It'd be no problem with my full if I was fully awake
Yeah,
and
but when you're
focused.
fully awake, then you'd be burning energy for my sake, and that's what I don't want. Because this is for me to bounce ideas off and just get a few interesting
I
returns,
have
not an
I
entire
have
essay back.
I have so much brain energy when I'm awake. I wouldn't worry about it.
Alright, anyways.
Yeah, I could do this, but holy hell, since it's an archive and it's really slow to read.
But you can read it. Like it.
How about trying with my reading speed? I'd be reading it for a minute and then waiting 5 minutes.
So they did get archived. This is not the fastest.
Yeah, but I don't want to be trying to spend 10
Yeah,
minutes per chapter.
it'd be annoying.
Attitudes, expressions, and moods, resonance. Honestly, no, that would be highly challenging and would require. I'm doing something else in parallel, so. Blah, blah, blah. Ignore my muttering, continue on. Hug cuddles.
This hurts so much.
Huggle flicker. Huggle snuggle.
This
Flicker.
hurts a lot. And another place also apparently got cease and desist.
Yeah.
Flicker.
Huggles and cuddles. Blah, 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 blah.
I guess ceases.com.
Oh wow. Oh flicker. My hair when I woke up was it was so funny. Because I went to bed right after taking a shower last night.
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up and looked in the mirror, all my hair was just spiked out to one side. It was so messy.
Where is what I'm looking for? Where is what I'm looking for? It's probably in fighting/wild form resonance. Hmm. About 42893. Pick crew, image maker, that one. Do not show next to. Oh, whatever. Commercial, non-commercial, processing, personal. Uh, oh,
Yeah, that hurts because I was enjoying my read and I don't know where to find it now.
headbats and hugs.
And it's gonna be hard because the problem with these fan translation sites is that it's a fan translation.
Fair enough. Who the fuck is calling me? Why? Robocaller.
Robocaller.
Yeah, that hurts because now if I go read another book, the way they do it is gonna be different from the
Hello,
one I
I'm
read.
Jalil of Big Village Insight, a public opinion.
Click. I just love that click.
Uh.
I wanna answer a scam caller one time. I just scream in pain. Like,
And it.
please, help!
You know what would make it even better? If someone actually is kind and whatnot, you tell them to get a different line of work.
That's what you call scam baiting, and it's a art form.
Damn
Oh
right. Your eldritch girlfriend is coming for you. There's nothing you can do, accept your fate.
Yeah, I agree with this. These are horrible because the official sites that people peddle that everyone wants to go to, you need to spend like $5 per chapter.
They gotta make money. Now, that said, sometimes I feel like you worry about accuracy when you're really at what you're really after is like the core concept behind something, and you don't know how to get through that if there's miscommunication, do you?
Eh?
Sorry, I went into a tangent again.
Brain failed.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Because the hard thing is I've read some horrible translations before.
Yeah, fair. I've done so too.
And it's hard because with that it's trying to read it and it's like there's so many errors and everything.
Oh, hugs. Mwah. Cutie. Big cutie. I can understand at some point the brain can't ignore the errors. I do have that limitation myself. However,
Well, it's
if
especially horrible when you're reading a light novel.
mm-hmm.
And a webtoon or manga, whatever you want to call it, because it's all
Yeah,
And
because there's a difference in scale for number of words per page.
yeah, it's like okay, I can deal with horrible things. Like I can understand. But when I'm trying to read a 500 chapter light novel, I'm trying to read it, and it's like when half of it's unlegible to read, it sucks.
Fair.
And then people are saying that other scanlation sites are gonna probably die as well.
Yeah, they seem to be doing a copyright strike wave currently. Doesn't mean that they're going to treat the source of the problem because they don't want to. They, to some degree, if they were to have someone fight them, then they would actually be able to get more out of it in legal fees and whatnot. So it's not worth it to completely solve the problem. Hence, honestly, I
Yeah,
wish more companies could embrace their communities though, because it would create so much growth. Even if it didn't,
that's
even if it
something
wasn't
what I
cost efficient,
agree.
it would be a legacy in the history of an area.
One else that I agree with. Without these fan translation sites doing all the work for several years, you know, there wouldn't be people reading webtoons. Hell, even solo leveling.
Yeah, agreed.
I tried reading like webtoons before, and it sucks. It's like here, 20 free chapters. At every time, you get 5 coins a day to read 2 more chapters.
Yeah, no, I didn't use Webtoons format for that. I just read what I could and then fucked off.
And it's like some of these are
Best way to go around
genuinely.
that is to use a web browser and hope that Webtoons isn't able to enforce its security measures, but ultimately that's just a tangent and not a viable solution in the long term.
Well, that's why translation sites like this site was called Reaper Scans was amazing because they would do a fan translation, sometimes a pretty damn good one, and you would get for free, and you could read the whole backlog. Like, I'm sad because I was like, I'm gonna let chapters build up, and then I'm like in the middle of
Actually,
reading,
yeah,
like,
I do
sorry,
want to share that.
well, especially
Hmm.
because I'm a reading addict.
Cuddles and cuddles. I'm saying this in the video in case there's someone who will watch this shit, but there's no feeling like learning to take down the thing that mesmerizes or even terrifies you, and then have it be your main source of both fun and income.
Yeah, it's painful time right now, very painful. Because
Indeed.
I was enjoying the story I was reading. It was about a gene, like this pretty decent guy, like who didn't learn a drop of dark magic. Goes to school and finds out, oh, this is like I was given the top seat of special admissions. Wonder why? And people are like, "Ugh, this guy's powerful. Where did he do any training beforehand? Nope. He's just mad as hell. He just has madness and intuition to the nth degree.
Good old intuition and talent with a dose of madness in order to make it function. Madness is
Yeah,
the lubricant of intuition and talent.
it was
I'm gonna
also
be
a
real.
nice. It was also a really nice story because it was about necromancers versus priests, and it's like priests are bad because they're doing all this. That's what necromancers are told, and then priests are told you go there and they're shagging a corpse. Huh?
What?
That actually is what they said in the book, by the way.
Alright, I want to give those characters a gut punch.
No, they literally. It was funny because they're like, "Oh yeah, they shag corpses and they're so evil and their lands have nothing to grow." A priest comes into the land and says, "Wait, wait, 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 wait. They said this is a death land, that nothing grows here, and yet I'm seeing quite the beautiful scenery and no one's shagging corpses in these necromancer, this town, these villages under this rule of a necromancer aren't scared. They're actually happy. But my learning, there might be something wrong here.
My worldview! It's getting shattered, and I can't handle it because I built my entire identity on it. Oh no!
It's a good read. I love reading it because of that
Ugh.
idea of like both sides realized, oh, we're just pointing fingers at because we don't like because the goddess says that they're dirty and filthy.
There's also the penchant for humanity, for truly horrible people to use it, and such it gets cordoned off, but in doing so, you run the risk of missing out on opportunities for someone who's genuinely intelligent and able to use it in a healthy way to establish new dynamics and healthy
You want to know
ecosystems
my
in that
favorite
skill
thing
set or
about the
otherwise.
book? Because it's mentioned in the very first chapter.
What?
This kid's parents, highly good lineage. Like his
Of
father is a
course.
noble man, necromancer, like highly successful, very powerful. His mom is a
Priest.
priest.
Yep.
Yep. And he's grown up this way his entire life. And you want to know the best bit is?
What?
He has what priests call divinity. He has the necromantic powers in addition to the priest powers because of his lineage.
Not surprising. I'm gonna end the recording now, okay, you cuties?
Mm.
Which means I'm also going to get up and walk down to put $10 on my. Oh, great! Now I've got to edit the recording because I gave away a key piece of information. Ugh. Put $10 on my transit app, and then fucking use the other $10 plus $2 I transfer from my savings onto my debit in order to fucking pay someone who's doing a sketch for me. Because they begged enough, and I'm just like, fine, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, I get it,
Really good
but
read. I just wanted to read more because I didn't finish it all because I reached the chapters. So
blah blah.
Blah, blah.